I want to ask you, there was a report and it links back to your home state of WA. It was in the US papers about groups connected to Chinese hackers and Chinese military have targeted political leaders' office. Now, the initial report regarded the Prime Minister's office, but it's not the Prime Minister, is it?
No, it's not. It's the WA Premier Mark McGowan, and he said today that he only heard of those reports appearing in the New York Times. We don't know too much more at the moment, but it looks like there was an attempt to hack into a department, probably at the Premier's office here in Western Australia, and it bounced back. But there was some pretty sophisticated technology around that attempt, which brings me to a question about the app. We keep hearing about the security of the app. I've got one question, Peter, and that is, with the app, when that information is divested to various health departments in state and territory governments, I really hope that they've got all their cybersecurity and encryption up to speed. That's one of my questions about that. But look, here we are. I've interviewed Drew Pavlou today. Here we are. We can see the Chinese state, the CCP, trying whatever it can do, in my view, to access very, very sensitive data here. So they do the soft touch with sending us all of this precious PPE, and then they have their state actors hacking also. It's a disconcerting story. You can read more about it in Western Australia on Western Australian media sites, and I can tell you there are a lot of very alarmed people working pretty quickly to just see who was behind that and what they were trying to access.
Interestingly too, the hacking is not just of the politicians. I mean, I know from my life in Canberra, there's routinely attempts to hack Canberra departmental computers and computers at Parliament House, in this case obviously of WA. But Professor Trevor Drew, we've had him on the show, he's the head of the CSIRO's biosecurity laboratories down in Geelong. He's warned other sort of vaccine developers like his mob and elsewhere that they need to be concerned about hackers attacking their research. Now, he says we've got a very tight ship down in Victoria, but that's a worry as well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's absolutely everywhere. There is no doubt that the more you look at it, I've been talking to Professor Clive Hamilton about the Confucius Institutes. To me, the reach is actually quite frightening, and cybersecurity is going to be vitally important, even more important. We can see, you know, people who are watching us tonight have probably been using programs like Zoom. People have sort of, in a lot of ways, I think your guard is down when you're at home and you're trying to get in touch with family and friends. Everybody has to be incredibly careful. You mightn't have a lot that you want to keep secret, but certainly those government departments, those researchers with the virus, they need to make sure that it is absolutely bulletproof.
Jane, I've got to ask you, these NRL players, when so many people have been devastated economically, they've lost their job, they're getting paid, it's likely the season will start up if the promises that the league made about the resumption with health authorities are met. Doesn't look like they will be, though, because a whole bunch of players are anti-vaxxers. Now, they're knocking back the flu shot. That was one of the conditions that their own authorities at the NRL set in order to get back in the game. Now, we say to kids, no jab, no play. What about these guys? No jab, no play.
Yeah, you know, no jab, no play. You can't go to school in most states unless you've had your certain vaccines. Interestingly, the AFL is not going down this route. They're not saying that flu vaccines are mandatory. The NRL has taken a much harder line. I don't know what the reasons are for these men who've said that they won't have a vaccine. Are they health issues? Are they anaphylactic? I'm not so sure what the reasons are, and I would like to hear what their reasons are. But honestly, at a time when people watching us tonight have lost everything, I'm just always so mindful that so many people have lost so much and are so desperate. If you haven't got an incredibly good reason just to have the flu shot of all things at a time of COVID, unless it's a health reason, then, you know, I don't know, Peter. I don't know that you're feeling the pain that the rest of the nation is.
No, not much sympathy for me. Got to leave it there, Jane.
No.
Not much sympathy for me. Thank you very much for your time.